Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It's the start of another, hopefully, wonderful week right here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And you're here with me, Azem. And next to me is my lovely producer, Jade, Gwen, Idita, CPL, Martha Stewart, Empress Bobby Johnson.
Actually, me, yes, Azem.
Oh,
Good morning.
Yes. Yeah, we gotta figure out what this one is. But guys, yeah, it's another week. It's Monday, 11th April. We almost halfway through the month, Jade. Easy, so.
It's going to be a busy month.
Yeah? Do that stuff happening?
Too much stuff happening.
Well, to be honest, based on the little I know of your weekend, it if the month is anything,
No.
if that is an indication of where a month is going, I have to agree. But how are you doing, Jade? How is your mental health? How are you physically, emotionally, spiritually, Jade? You have some work to do?
Yes. lots and lots of work.
Repent, Jade, repent. That is always my advice.
Has that worked for you?
Yes.
Okay, well, if it work for you, you're going to work for me.
That is, hey, I keep telling people, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that the idea of repentance actually encourages sin?
It does if you believe in the religion in the way a lot of people.
Like repentance. The fact that repentance is a thing.
Imagine I could literally
Say sorry and then it's all good.
Yeah, kill 5 children and then just sorry and everything good. Like, that is one a little well to you?
The fact that there's always redemption. That redemption is always available.
Always is a good measure. Maybe sometimes, like
that's why I like the Eastern religions, where your life and the way that it is valued, let's say, and what determines your afterlife, what happens to you after you pass, and of course the reincarnation, is a result of the sum total of your decisions and choices.
So basically, you're telling me right now, as it stands, I might be reincarnated into you?
Girl!
We're talking about choices and stuff here.
But you seem like you might like that.
Wow.
But no, like seriously, like do you believe? Okay, for instance, let's say you tell your child, look, I don't care what it is you do.
We're starting off wrong, but continue.
I don't care what it is you do, but whatever it is, there's always a way for you to get my full forgiveness and all that is coming to you when I pass.
No, that sounds like a good idea.
That don't sound like a good way to manage behavior?
No. Because what I get here is, okay, no matter what I do, my mommy gonna love me, and when she die, I good. No.
And you could, and not only that, but you could defer punishment. You could defer punishment. So it's like.
Is it alone?
Yeah, it's like you could just defer payment and the behavior loan.
I continue to encourage our children to do them nonsense. See if I with a bunch of little serial killers. I go.
But no, I think I that's a conversation that I've had with people.
And they agree with the idea of
No. Just like repentance as a concept might actually encourage.
No toxic.
Yeah, encourage a different kind of behavior.
Word of the day.
Toxic.
What is love?
Hey, big up Byron too. Byron had a birthday when it was yesterday.
Oh, I saw him in Nevis on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's either Saturday or yesterday he had a birthday.
I can't tell what he told me. Byron did therapy.
Yeah, Jay, we listen to his music. We know this.
Byron said he took my phone. He asked them. And it was almost a rap. So there's an ex out here walking up and down right now that needs to tell Byron sorry.
There are multiple exes, about 90% of them from OR, who need to tell Byron.
Yeah, I'll need to apologize.
Yeah, y'all need to apologize to Byron. Hey, just say sorry. That's been the advice we've been giving for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, that's the April advice.
It's okay to just say sorry.
Yeah, like like he can forgive, repentance, forgiveness. We just talked about it. Sorry, and you're forgiven. Be aware that St. Clair, Wapali, De Silva, a Calypsonian based at St. Thomas has died. Off-Man Jam was one of his popular songs.
Yeah.
Condolences to his family, man.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that this past weekend. It was making rounds on the socials.
Really? Oh, I haven't been on social media all weekend.
Yeah, because you've been on.
I've been
the move.
No, I've been living. Wait a sec.
I said you've been on the move.
No, wait a sec. At the end of the show. Spend more time.
Living your content
than posting it. So that's what I did.
That was actually a good move. That's actually a good move.
I think so too.
I ran into you on the weekend, which was
strange. Not gonna lie, I'm like, is that? Listen.
Yeah, I should have seen Jade's face when she. Yeah.
It was so strange that everybody was like, "You see your co-host?" I'm like, "Yeah." Can you see him? Yeah. Nobody expected you to be outside.
Yeah, I was outside. It was.
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no vibes.
It was it was one of those situations where it's just like I kind of had to be involved. I had a friend who, unfortunately, is his dad passed.
Aww.
Past classmate, and he hasn't been living here for a while, and some of the classmates we met up and
I can tell. I was looking at the group like, I feel like this is Azim schoolmates.
See, that is.
I've never seen these people in my life. They had to have gone to school with Azim. That's the only explanation.
That's the only explanation. So all of us just don't go away.
No, literally. I said I've never seen these people in my life unless everybody flying. These Azim schoolmates and they don't go nowhere. But I was having fun though.
There was out because I wasn't main. I must have.
You literally just disappear. I said Azim gone home. His social media has hit its limit and he has left.
It was. I felt bad because we were supposed to meet up at like 8. I met them at like 10:30.
I went to him at 10:35. Imagine that. 10:35 on the dot, you were out.
But it was real cool. It was real cool catching up with some people. Like, you see, my thing is, Jade, like, it's ain't that I don't like hanging out with people, it just depends on the
social setting.
Yeah, like, okay, I keep telling people the classic limes that people think about when they say let's go out don't appeal to me.
Nope.
Like, okay, normally it involves going to a bar or going to some place where there's loud music and dancing. Alcohol. And yeah, so I don't drink, I don't dance, and I like conversation. So generally the things that people doing like socially don't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
So if you tell me, hey, we're buying some pizza and we can just park up on the top of some hill and talk till the morning reach,
you're good with that?
I don't with that.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, what was very interesting for me was the conversations. The conversations that we're having. Like, the conversations change, right? As you get older, you meet up with classmates. The conversations change, and like people talking about their kids, right? People talking about
The job that I hate.
politics,
Not me. Don't do me that.
right? People talking about how all the young girl them crazy and we should just run away from them.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then the girls talking about how all the young men them ain't even appealing.
And the old man them.
Cause they were like, I remember one of my friends were like, I've always been looking forward to being at this point in my life, late 30s, and hopefully even into my 40s where I could then be the cougar. But
Not
the,
today's, yeah?
the young man them different now.
Not
They,
today's young man,
the young man them
Keep your class to yourself
keep your
because
class to yourself.
these young men will wreck your life. Leave them alone, man.
I said, yeah, the cougar thing kinda dead out now.
If the ones them who is the age don't want them, then leave them alone. Okay?
Yeah, the
Leave them
cougar thing
alone.
there now. Well,
Yeah, man.
it was very interesting to me to hear, the women's perspective on the state of manhood right now. Jade got big stroops, but I can't even argue with you because
You can't.
yeah, I sat attentively and listened. I learned, and to be honest, I am
You agree with me.
not only agree, but I am scared. I am scared for you guys. I'm scared for you guys.
God need to send them on your batch, I mean.
Well, I mean,
Like imagine if that's how we used to do it. Like
send them a batch.
send them a batch now and again.
But that's what he does do. And
No,
then
no,
what we
the batch
do.
them does be too young. I mean a grown batch, not the
Oh,
ones
like-
we have to grow organically.
Okay. He just send them in batches. We don't just call them like Gen Z, baby boomers,
Yeah,
Gen
no,
X, millennials.
mean,
So that's a bit in batches.
no.
And then the problem is like the batches all kind of work together.
No,
The girls,
not that kind. Not
the
that
girl
kind.
said she met this guy, and she couldn't. The same thing I've been saying here on the show, Jade.
Well,
She said she met the guy, they gone out, and she said she count 7 selfies between the time they got to the place they were meeting and the time the food came.
he was taking selfies.
He was the one
Wow.
taking selfies.
He photogenic now.
I don't know who he is. I was
Oh,
trying
wow.
I was trying to get a name. But you see, she didn't do him like that. She didn't do him like that because I would have called his name this morning. But
Wow.
But no, she said he takes 7 selfies, and she said she just watching him all the time. And then at one point he tried to get her in the picture, and she
No,
was
sir,
like,
don't do that.
"No, don't do that because this is the last time you're meeting."
Whoa. Be careful out here. It's rough in the streets for
Bye,
all
yeah.
you dating people. The pool has pee in it. Be very careful.
Don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water,
Don't drink the water.
please.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of craziness on the weekend, you see this. Anyway, you see it because I sent it to you.
Jade, wow.
This is where we at now, down here. And nobody felt the urge to kick Noka in the sand.
Give the listeners some context.
So, this weekend, a video surfaced from an incident in Nevis where a lady, you guys will guess the color of this lady after I finish this story. A lady decided that she owns a beach in our sister island and that the kids running on the beach, practicing for their sports, were not allowed to do that. She also allegedly tried calling the police, and when all the laughter erupted, she decided to then lay down.
She threw a tantrum.
Yeah, she threw a tantrum basically,
Yeah.
like a big toddler, and lay down on the sand
In the path.
to block the kids from training, as if there's not sand all around. Karen. Oh,
Yes. Well, she definitely has been called that. I'm not sure if that's her official name, but that is the name that I think everybody figured. DJ Shabang, do you want to guess her race?
Da-da-da-da.
Jade, I was
I would
looking
like
at
it, son,
this.
no. I'm gonna let you.
Jade, I was looking at this, right? And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. No, I can tell you why I couldn't believe. Because as much as I am one of the people who keep saying, hey, is whatever we see happening abroad, going to come right at yard. I keep saying it, but sometimes when it happens, it's just like, no, I wasn't ready.
I was ready though.
And I saw this thing and I was flabbergasted. The children, you know what I'm saying? The children, yes?
You are correct, sir. You are correct. She was from the what, Azim?
The mountains of Caucasus.
Indeed, she was.
As Witty Kitty is saying, the height of caucasity. But like, this is the thing for me, Jade. Here, some children literally just doing some relays in the sun, right? Training for what could arguably be one of the biggest events in the Federation.
She understand what she's trying to stop. Listen.
Right? And she is literally to the point of tears.
Sorry, I would have laughed.
To the point of tears. Right?
Oh, dear.
Because these children are training on her sand.
Her sand.
That is located on apparently her beach.
Her beach, you know. She thinks she owns a beach in Nevis. She thinks in her mind that she owns sand, water, and sunshine in an island that she visited. How do you? You can't
the level of entitlement that exists among some of these people.
Listen.
Now, I want to move this conversation a bit forward, right? Because there's several things here that I think need to be discussed. A lot of times we don't.
Wait, before we discuss it, I heard a rumor that she issued an apology. Okay. And she also made a donation to the school.
Barely don't care.
We ain't care for you. No, we ain't care.
Barely don't care.
Just giving y'all some, you know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Apparently.
I would have divorced her for embarrassing me like that.
I tell her we need to start exiling people again, you know.
She would have been the first for the year.
I tell her we need to start exiling people.
See, she wants something to
like,
own.
Why that ain't a thing?
Booby Island right there, you know.
But we need one like in Booby Island.
But we exiling, no?
Not to Booby Island though, that's too close.
Oh, okay, wait. She might be able to swim in.
I don't know. We could probably send her back to somewhere like Kiev.
Since she want to claim something, like I claim something over there. Like a lot of in the roads over there.
No, this is the thing for me. There's a couple of things I need to discuss. Because again, I feel like we would be so just flabbergasted over the audacity of some of these people that is just like, we know it's crazy and we know it's stupid and we just like dismiss it. But there's things that need to be discussed. One, maybe part of the reason why these people does behave this way, and I'm talking about here in it, I'm talking about like all the Karens we see in the States and so.
They're in the element.
In this particular case, it's probably because of how we sell the country, how we market the country, what it is we do when we invite them here, right? Because I would assume that she's an expat, eh? I assume that she's an expat because maybe she can't be a tourist. I didn't think she owned the beach. Like,
no,
so you gotta be somebody who probably migrated here, lives here, maybe for X amount of time during the year. Who knows? But part of it is the way that we sell the country is like it's not that this is our thing and we're allowing you to partake in this. It's like come to our wonderful paradise where we cater to your every need. Where you will be treated like royalty, even though you, let me not say what you were when you're back home, but when like come here and if you look the way you look, everybody else's job on this wonderful island is to make you feel special and at home and like I said, to cater to your every whim, need, and desire. So do you get upset? Like, how could you get upset when we sell that narrative and then they come here and behave the way they behave? That's one of the first things. Let me ask you a question. When you like America, the UK, all these places get more tourists than us, right? Europe, they get more tourists than us. Is that how they're marketing? That's how they're marketing it. When you go to the States, you ain't gonna question about where you be in the social hierarchy.
You ain't own nothing up here. Nothing at all.
You ain't got no question about where you stand in the social hierarchy.
That is remind you every chance they get.
All right, then. That's one. Two, when these things happen, right? I am promoting the violence on these people, right? But why the police, I know this applies all over the world now, why aren't they the ones who are charged with disturbing the peace, harassment, and these kind of things. Why the police saying I look for she? I'm pretty sure they could find somewhere on video where she threatened one of them little children.
Probably.
She tried to follow the children them.
Because why would you let down in the path?
The children them literally, hey.
Jumping over.
Hey, and on a side note, somebody need to go find whoever that little boy is who just literally just jump over when she let down.
The young hurdler?
The hurdler, but we need to get here a scholarship somewhere. Whoever that little boy was, we need to find him. He need a scholarship.
I'm sorry, Azim. If one of them kids had tripped under a woman, right? Whoever that child mother be should have been allowed to just wrangle her. Because what are you doing? You're trying to injure my child?
I think that's exactly what she was trying to do.
Yes, okay. Couldn't be Jaden. That's all I can say. Couldn't, not under this life that I have. It could not be my child.
See, Regine get exactly to where I was going to next. Because Jade, it ain't just that she lay down, you know. She was kicking up she legs to literally trip the children, you know. She actively.
Not one parent kick the son after.
She lit
strong,
by watch you.
Not even a little son or a kick.
Okay.
You're strong. Let strong.
Let me tell you something, but you see, it comes back to the social hierarchy and the way that we look at ourselves and the way we look at them. Because let's check, because the other point that I want to make now, right? Had it been a local, right?
Video would have looked different.
Had it been a local, and let me put it this way, that woman obviously has some misconceptions, probably has some mental issues as far as I'm concerned. We can fail to that, right? So
guys.
There are people who walk among us, right? Who are less invasive, less entitled, and them there people call police and them there police will go with them, put them in different kind of facilities and things. Let that have been a local person who is perceived to have some type of mental issue. Police would have been down there, and the police they would have do them. We've seen the videos in Nevis.
Yes. I just buy.
So as much as yes, we're looking at it, and she obviously has a problem and thing. I think part of it we have to recognize that we got problems too. We that enable this kind of nonsense.
Clearly, because
we ain't talking about in America where there's a systemic social order and all of this. We got to stop doing stupidness like this. We see these people come and slap off police and then jump on a plane and go home.
Yep. Literally saw videos.
Let's see what this person have to say. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? All right, let's see. Somebody else trying to get in. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you guys this morning?
Blessed and highly favored.
Indeed.
All right. Now to the topic. Don't slap no label on her. That woman don't have any mental issue. She have an entitlement problem. That is the issue. And like you say, only in escape someone could slap someone and jump on a plane because of the pigment of their skin. And the whole thing about it is that when you look at that video, I mean, that little boy, you could see he was not expecting her to lie down on the ground.
How could he?
So before he had fall and hurt himself, who was going to pay his medical bill and all that? And you see, the thing is, and like you said, if it was a local, because honestly, if it was a local person stopping those kids from doing what they were doing, them same parents or whoever was on the beach were like, they would have tell them go more than go Booby Island. As a matter of fact, you probably, like Jake said, you see a different video, it probably been a brawl out fight on the beach. But the whole thing about it is that how you could see kids running and then you want to stop them. Lady, the beach is so big and they're in your way. You move down, go somewhere else. How big is the beach? What, that spot had belonged to her? Come on, as a country, we need to do better, because I think the problem is our pigment, we give these people this seniority, like they have some seniority over us, because all they have to do, especially in the Caribbean, they only have to come. They don't have to come with nothing. Just that the pigment alone, it's entitled them to everything, and that's the way we give it to them. You see, like how they want respect, we need to make them respect us and respect our country. You in my country. you better respect me because you're in my country. You know what I'm talking? I mean,
Yep.
But in any case, I'm glad the children then continue racing and continue practicing because, like you say, there's got some future Olympians right there. So imagine she wants to stop some future Olympians, eh?
I'm telling you.
Come on now. You all have a good day.
All right. You too. We take this caller before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. I was told by a visitor to my house yesterday that they had a problem running with the same woman, something they went over there to do. It appeared to me that at one point she tried to put up some kind of barrier on the beach, and she was asked to take it down. And she lives here, so she's not just a visitor, she lives here. As you all mentioned, she lives here. But you see, you spoke about the incident over at the Marriott, where the tourist assaulted. I have that video still on my phone, where the tourist assaulted the police, and was I think he was arrested, and he was allowed to leave the next day without paying any costs. There was another incident down at the port where a white tourist, was assault a taxi man, and the taxi man, I think the taxi man struck him. And one of the callers to your station said that he should not have hit the tourist. Suppose had he fall and all kind of things, and how that would affect tourism. You see the kind of problem we're having. These people come to our country. I could have never do that in the United States if that's where she come from.
Did I ask you?
Something. Even if you walk in an area, sometimes I look suspicious.
Oh, you're gone.
They call police and you're arrested.
That don't happen to me direct.
What you said?
I said that happened to me direct.
You see, so these people should not allowed to come here and do it. Like, we have laws which they have to abide by. You can't just come and build a house on the beach and that's okay. When we ourselves here can't do that. That's wrong. That's wrong. And if I was one of those people, knowing my temperament, I would deliberately go and run and then step on her. That would have been assaulting, but I would have done that. You don't come to this country and think you could do as you like and get away with it and lie down in the path of those children. My God, she should have been arrested. Thank you for your time, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think we really have to look at. See, my thing is, you always have to look at what you can control, right? And we could control how we act and how we react, right? And I think we really need to look at that. The way we sell the country, the way we market ourselves, and the way we look at ourselves in relation to these people.
Yeah.
The way we look at ourselves in relation to these people.
And the way our own people look at us in relation to these people. Because I've seen some things and I'm like, how does this make sense? Like, I literally, the ropes down at Port Zante that the ladies hold to allow people to pass.
Yeah.
I saw them lower the ropes for some tourists, right? And directly behind the tourists were some locals. Mm-hmm. They pulled back up the rope. One of them tripped over it and all.
What?
Yeah. These are the things that happen in this beautiful country of ours.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that. We're really gonna have to look at that because they're supposed to know you come here and try that there. It ain't gonna be nice.
No.
The same way we know we go up there and we step out of what they consider their social norm. We know there's consequences to pay. They're supposed to know too.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
But guys, we're gonna take a short break and be right back with more LNT right here with Media SKN. Stay and stay.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop. Stop. I'm making it.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Win Media SKN. And we are joined in studio by Sergeant Henry from the Traffic Department. And she's here because it's Monday and it's time for a traffic talk. Good morning, Sergeant. How are you doing?
Good morning, Asim. As Asim said, this is Sergeant Henry from the Traffic Department. I just want to wish everybody a good morning, those who are listening via radio and the internet. This morning I'll be talking about parking. Parking means to remain stationary for any period of time which is longer than is reasonably necessary for passenger to alight from or get on a vehicle. Sometimes when you talk to persons who pull up on this side of the road, they pull up there when you said, this is a yellow line, you cannot park. They say, oh, I'm not parked. I'm only my vehicle sitting down. But as I said, it remains stationary for any period of time which longer than. So if the person already get off the vehicle and you're still there, you're parked. You get time to put off the person and move on. But when you park, yes, your engine could be on and you're in your vehicle sitting down. It is parked because the vehicle is not moving. Nobody's getting on or nobody's getting off. So when we talk to persons about parking, it's not because you're in there, the vehicle is not parked. It is. The vehicle is not moving. And the reason why these signs are up is because we put them there to control the traffic. So if you're on a yellow line and we ask you to move off the yellow line, it's a reason why the line is there. We don't just go around, or the licensing authority, which is the Commissioner of Police, don't just put lines any and anywhere. He put them there for a reason, or signs. So when you're parked in a parking position that is not for someone to park and the police officer asks you to move and you refuse and they give you a ticket, I know that is going to hurt you because you have to pay $100. $100 is not like $1. So when the police asks you to move from a parking space, which is not designated as a parking position for a vehicle, I'm asking you to move. We also see some people leaving the vehicle with the engine on. That's an offense. And this is quitting vehicle with engine in motion. So if you come out of your vehicle and you just run in a store, that's an offense. So I'm asking the public, please do not do that, because when you catch them, there's an officer only gone there for something, yes. But gone there for something, a lot of things could have happened. The vehicle could have moved off, somebody could have come and taken your vehicle and gone with it. So leaving your vehicle with engine in motion is also an offense. So you park your vehicle and you move and the engine is running, it's an offense. I also want to talk about, sure, you can go ahead.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk. All right, we lost a caller. You can continue.
Okay. We're also getting some calls of persons driving along the Needmus Road, or what we call not Wellington, in the vicinity of the powerhouse. You know, we have this long stretch of road, yes, it's nice. And then we have this area where it's the pull-off or the shoulder that we call the shoulder of the road. That is used for any breakdown, any emergency, not for person to overtake there. And a lot of people are overtaking on that side. We do not overtake on our left. We overtake on our right because we drive on our left here. So persons who are driving and overtaking on that stretch of road, it's an offense also. Because if an accident happens, you're going to get wrong. You don't overtake on your left side. You overtake on your right and you make sure that it is clear for you to overtake. Any calls right now?
No, not right now.
Yes. Okay, and then the 13th of this month, which is Wednesday, we'll be having the night market at the public market. So I just want to remind the public, remember I just talked about parking, and cross, they have a lot of yellow lines. I don't want nobody to park there because it's an offense. We used to put down these signs on Saturdays and make it a one-way. We usually do that when it's night market also. But because the lights are there, we're not going to put these signs there. So I'm asking the public to find somewhere else to park, or the motorists find somewhere else to park.
And what's the date?
The 13th of April.
All right.
That is Wednesday coming.
Okay, awesome. We have somebody on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am a bit concerned that all the focus is normally on the areas like Wellington Road, Bay Road, in those vicinities, and nobody seems to care about Fort Thomas Road. As far as I'm aware of the fact, Fort Thomas Road is not a bus route. And not until somebody gets hurt, injured, or killed would you all stop the buses from coming through Fort Thomas Road. Every day, at least 35 buses pass through here, and not buses repeated. These are buses individually. I've seen them, I've noted them, I've looked at the numbers, and I've not seen repeated numbers for a long while. So they're buses after buses after buses after buses. And they drive through here like as though it's a highway. As far as I know, only on Saturday mornings they're authorized to come through here because you all block some roads, some areas on the Bay Road. And they're supposed to come up Mulloon Avenue and go onto Fort Thomas Road. They're coming all the way from Five Ways down. I mean, once they come through here and you're on the roadside, they don't care. You have to run for them to give them preference. And I find that it's unfair. And I've not seen any police through here. I've been speaking about this for almost 7 years, if not longer. And until something happens, then y'all are not going to take warning. So I'm asking if you can do something to avoid that, to avoid persons getting hurt. One morning I was looking out through my window, and a young lady was passing with her child, a baby in her arm, I would say about a year and a month. And unfortunately, I had to see it. This bus was coming so fast, she was trying to get out the way, she and the child fall. And the bus driver didn't even stop to ask her if she was hurt. I mean, how unfair and inhumane that could be. They come through here so fast to knock off maybe more than 10 times. It's not fair. Another thing I'd like to point out or ask questions. The objective of the roundabouts down by Sands Complex and down by Kentucky. Why is it we can't come out because of the traffic lights now? We can't come out on the left side to go left. If you want to come out to go to the cenotaph, and you have to come all the way out on the right hand and go all the way where you can get to turn around and come back all the way down on the Bay Road to get to the cenotaph. Whereas if we come out of Port Sunday on the left-hand side that we used to do, why can't we come out on the left-hand side and turn left and continue our journey instead of coming out on the right and turn right? The same thing at the roundabout in Sand Complex. I thought the roundabout was to eliminate the congestion of traffic, but to me it's more congested now. I think the lights should be turned off until y'all can work out a system that makes sense. Because for me and others, and I'm speaking for the others who speak to me, I think it doesn't make any sense. Sorry to say that, but that's our feeling. Have a good week. God bless.
Thank you, caller. Okay, you spoke about buses driving down Fort Thomas Road. That's off the bus route. You might not see us at Fort Thomas Road, but from time to time we're on the Bay Road, and we usually catch them when they're coming down off the avenue. You talk about Sands Complex. Yeah, you go around the roundabout, and then you take a right, go back up on the Bay Road. Why we did that, or why this was put in place, as I said earlier, is to eliminate the traffic on that road. You spoke about Rams traffic light. You don't have to go right when you come out of that traffic light. You take a left, and you head on down to the Cenotaph. So you don't have to go up to come back down when you come from Rams roundabout. I think those are all you spoke about. And with the Sands Complex, as I said, it is to eliminate the traffic on the Bay Road. So that's why you take a right, you go up, and if you want to go in town, you have different areas you can go. As I said on a previous show, you can go through Wrigley Alley, and you get back into town. Or you can go up and go to the small street by the bakery, Fulton Bakery, and come out on the next street and come back down. But you can go to Wrigley Alley and come back into town.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
I want to support the sentiments echoed by the caller before me, especially with respect to the roundabout right in front of Ram Supermarket on the Bay Road. I think that the space that we used to occupy on the eastern side, make that the western side, which is now an unused space, wasted space as it were, I really think that drivers should be allowed to re-enter that space in order to turn left. I am at a loss as to figure out the rationale behind having to exit, whether we're turning right or left, only on the eastern side. That's one. And two, just a question. With respect to people sitting in their vehicles on a yellow line, Sergeant Henry said that an officer would normally ask the individual to move. Of course, if he refuses to move, then he issues a ticket. I'm wondering, is the officer obliged, I'm not even sure if that's the right word, to ask the individual to move first, or he or she just issues a ticket once you're there on the yellow line without asking for any reason? He or she just comes and issues a ticket because he happened to be stationary, whether for a short or long while, on the yellow line. Or is the officer first expected to ask you to move? Or does he just issue a ticket without any kind of warning or advice, anything like that? Thank you.
Well, it depends on the officer. Some officers do their work different to others. If the officer wishes to ask you to move, then if not and they want to issue a ticket because, it's a yellow line, they can. I cannot say what the officer should do. It depends on the officer, how they want to do it. But you park on a yellow line, that's an offense. If the officer want to give you a chance and ask you to move, they ask you to move. If they just want to issue a ticket, it depends on the officer.
Okay, understood. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Yeah, me again. This is something that the police can, and maybe what I might have to do is to get these people's number. The police can't do anything about this. Overtaking. I'm on the Kim Collins Road yesterday, going to Rams. When I reach about midway, I see in my rear view mirror this vehicle, SUV, trying to overtake. Now, it's a good thing I don't have my air conditioner in my vehicle, or maybe I could use my hazard. But the man is so foolish to see 3-4 vehicles coming from the south, coming towards me. He is behind me, and the fool trying to overtake me. And I followed him, and he went into Best Buy at Border. But I say, sometimes it's best to leave well alone. See, nothing happened. I don't want to be a public enemy to that individual. I don't know who he might be. So I decided nothing happened. I decided to go on my business to Ram, buy my stuff, and then go home. But people need to understand, you cannot overtake a vehicle. When you look ahead and you see another vehicle, come in. The space between the vehicle and me is less than 100 yards. and I am driving at my same speed, and I'm not going to pull off because I am on the left side of the road. I am not going to pull off. I mean, if it had reached a point where I see an accident, there was a lot of space there on the King Galley Road. I could have gone. But I don't need to do that. People must learn to understand that drive properly. You don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to end up in the hospital because somebody was foolish and then follow the rules. There's nothing the police could do about that. It's just a foolish person who felt that he couldn't wait. 3 vehicles coming towards us, and the space between the two of us is less than 100 yards. One coming and one going, and he wanted to pass to go between there. That's ridiculous. You want to kill people. Thank you, officer.
Thank you, sir. That's a strong word just now when you say fool, but some people are just lawless. They don't drive for consideration for other road users. They just think about themselves. So that's why when you're driving, you have to drive for you and others. Because maybe if you wasn't driving for yourself and him, as you say, accident might have happened.
All right, we have somebody wanting to join the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning. I'm calling back. I hate to deprive somebody of a call, but just want you to educate me because I was not too clear on what you said about the roundabout down Rams. My concern was you're coming out of Port Sante. You want to go to let's say the senator or to the village area hospital. I used to come out by the Chinese restaurant, the Chinese supermarket and turn left. No, I can't do that. I have to come out on the right and then find some means of going somewhere to get back, to go to the west, which seems strange to me. It's putting me out of the way. I'm not tying up in traffic if we were to use the same direction on the left because we were doing it without the traffic lights and we weren't causing any congestion. But to me, having the traffic lights make it more confusing to me and others. Another reason I see it unfair, gasoline gone up. That's more money we're paying in gasoline. So I would like you all to revisit, look at it, call us. Let us come speak to you all, find out who we are. If you have the time, come to our home, sit down with us, reason with us, educate us, tell us if you understand what we're saying or you don't understand, if you agree or you disagree. But right now, I don't understand. So if you can say it to me again, because I see it more convenient. You're coming out of Port Sante. You want to go left. Why should I go right to get back to left when there's a left opening and there's a traffic light there that directs you? It doesn't make any sense to me and to others. Another thing you say about Fort Thomas Road, I'm not looking to see policemen across here, but I'm telling you, there are no policemen nowhere in this vicinity, and if they're on the Bay Road, that is not enough. I think they should be up by 5 ways where they're starting the journey to come down, and as soon as they break the laws there to come down, you then issue your ticket to them. That is my feeling. There's a police, a female police, who put up a sign, and I know she put it up because she called me and said, we've erected a sign by 5 ways. I made it a point of duty on my way from the hospital. I drove down there, and the sign was there. The next week, somebody broke down the sign. A new sign went up again. They broke it down again. For crying out loud, they have no respect for the law. And therefore, I would say, have a policeman stationed somewhere by 5 ways, even if they're not in their uniform, and you see how many tickets you issue. It is not fair for them to be on the Bay Road, to wait for them to come down the avenue, when 9 out of 10 times they don't come down the avenue. They go straight on Fort Thomas Road, and they turn down by the market. So it's cut-free for them. And I'm begging you, I've written to so many persons in the police force, and I'm not going to call the names and their positions, and nobody has adhered to my request. So I'm going to go a bit further. I'm going to write to the governor, and I'm going to copy the prime minister. And let me see if I'm going to get any help before something happens across here. Because I don't want anybody to get killed in an accident, which could have been avoided on Fort Thomas Road. I've lived here practically all my years unless I went to live in the United States or England, and I don't want anybody to say Fort Thomas Road is a bad area because they want to give it a bad name, and I don't want it. Okay? Thanks for your help. God bless you.
Okay, Colin. Yes, you spoke about. Okay, you want me to enlighten you about the Rams roundabout? That's the one, Port Zante West. The sign is there telling you when you come out, you're going the same way and you come out the same way. You're going on the right, you come out on the right. When you come out, you can take a left to go down to the cenotaph. You don't have to take a right. You can take a left and you go down to the cenotaph because the arrow is showing you left direction. The only one by the one by the sand complex is telling you right. It's directing you to go right. So maybe you need to look again when you come out, but the arrow is saying you can go to the cenotaph or go down to the bus terminal. That's the one by Rams. I know you're passionate about these buses going across the bus route. And we'll be across there, Carlo. I know who you are, I don't want to call your name, but we'll be across there. We'll be across there.
All right. Question. I know the reasoning for the disallowance of traffic coming out of Port Zante being able to head towards the center of town. It was said that the reason for that is to lessen traffic on the Bay Road, right? But it seems like that would just be between the two exits of Port Zante, right? Now, based to reason, if somebody wants to get into the center of town, then what would happen is they would have to make their way to one of the other roads. Those other roads would most likely be Bank Street and what's that road there? Liverpool Road, right? But those roads seem to be generally very congested on their own. So is there something that I'm missing? Because it seems like it may actually be counterproductive to direct the traffic back to those two smaller roads, as opposed to distributing the traffic among those roads as well as the Bay Road.
Okay. As I said, because the Bay Road is always congested, and we can see that even on a normal day, especially at 4 o'clock, it is busy. So we try to eliminate that and get people out of that.
Oh, okay. I understand. I'm just saying that if people are going to town, then they'll have to make their way to town via one of the
other routes than to go across there, because cross is always busy.
Yeah, so that's my thing. If people trying to get into town, then what they're going to do is go to roads. Instead of having now 3 ways into the center of town, now you really just have 2 to get into that, to go up 4th Street. So, and those 2 roads already seem to be congested as well. So I just wondering if there was something else I was missing to the equation. The other question I had was, in a lot of areas, even though you are in the stop at a light, it's 1 lane, but there's 2 lights. Is there a reason for that? So for instance, on the Bay Road, you have 2 lanes coming from east to west, where you have a turning lane where you could then turn up 4th Street, and there's two lights, right? But at some places you're in the stop, it's actually 1 lane, but there's 2 lights. So I'm wondering if there's a reason for that. As a matter of fact, that seems to be what I'm seeing happening most of the time.
Okay. To answer that right now, I'll have to ask and get back to you with that one.
Okay.
But I think the only one I see that is at by Sandown Road. The rest of them is 2 lights, and they use both.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, but I was saying, for instance, even the one at the roundabout,
Which one you on about?
the one at Port
By
Zante,
Rams?
Port Zante West.
Uh-huh.
There's two. It's two lights in front of you,
Yeah.
which is this one lane. When you're crossing over the main road to go up the road by Mislack, it's two lights, but it's you're leaving one lane, entering one lane. So I was just wondering if there's a reason why there was two lights as opposed to one. I think that could be a little confusing as well.
I'll have to ask and get back to you.
Okay. All right. Does
I'll
we have
have to
somebody
ask.
on the call, but we could make this the last call before we head out. Good morning, caller. Time is limited, but I'll allow you to make your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Of concerns to reinforce a previous caller commented is coming off and not turning left. I am concerned that a situation where we had no lights in St. Kitts to probably having too many to solve a problem that largely does not exist or exists for a period of time during the day. I find it to be very unreasonable, let's say, for instance, after hours where there is no congestion, you have to go all around to find your way back up for instance.
Yeah.
Right? Even in the day, I think it's ridiculous, right? I simply do not think that we have a congestion issue in St. Kitts that really dictates the need for that type of control. And given regards to the fact that it's expensive. Even that is an issue right now. That's one. Okay? Reiterate what he said also in regards, down in front of Rams. Why can't you go left out of the roundabout in the left side of the roundabout to go to the cenotaph area? Okay? Effectively what you have done is move a problem from one area and put it to another, which is one of the things that the gentleman and Mr. Bay has indicated, and put a lot of traffic onto Princess Street, right? Liverpool Road, rather, right? I've seen that happening recently. So you move a problem from one area and you put it in another area. In addition to that, one of the things that concerns me about police in the thinking is that we have laws which were written just for the general public and not for themselves, right? The police station, the yellow lane, and
I'm not hearing him.
the very close, and very vehicles attacked and that road on the yellow lane. Okay? So I would like to suggest that we, as you make laws for the public, police must lead by example. Okay? And those.
He wasn't clear at all, but I couldn't understand what he's saying. Okay. Liverpool, I also want to let the public know, the general public or the motorists know, that Liverpool is a one-way street now. You only can drive from west to east. You cannot drive from east to west. So if you come down Church Street, you only could take a left. You come down College Street, the sign that used to be there by Liverpool and College Street, that is taken out. So you drive straight down. If you're coming from between Market Street to College Street, you can come across, stop because there's a stop there, and then you proceed in the eastern direction or take a left up to College Street. So as of last week, Liverpool Road is a one-way. Across there again, we used to have congestion because person coming across west and person coming across east, and then you have vehicle park on the seaside. So it's a one-way now. So I just want the public to know, the motorists, to know that it's a one-way. You cannot drive from the circus now into College Street. So I just want the motorists, them to take that into consideration. Remember, it's a one-way. I want to thank the On the Road family for their calls this morning. I want to thank you all for your congestion your suggestion, your concern, and your comments. I also want to thank Dilil Walwin for sponsoring this show. And next week is a holiday, which is Easter Monday. I won't be here until the 25th. So I'll be here on the 25th, same time, to take your calls, your concern, and whatever else you want to contribute. I thank you this morning.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. Be right back with more Island Tea right here on We Media SKN. See you on the other side of the break.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service per second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwin, people you can trust.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Good morning, and welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It's Monday, April 11th, and I think we're having a good time already for the morning. People getting stuff up the tress.
As you should.
As you should. But you don't hold it in. Don't hold it in.
Let it go like Elsa.
You don't want that toxic energy just building.
Them say we're toxic.
I think, Jade, I feel like you're embracing...
No, let's don't do that.
Okay.
Let's don't do that.
All right.
You don't go wrong. You're going wrong with it.
But, yeah, before we jumped into... the traffic talk, we were talking about the traffic on the beach in Nevis. And, the traffic block that they had there. But I know some of you wanted to get in on the conversation. We probably allow you to call in, but we're gonna move on because there's other things that's happening. Jade, what's been?
I was reading a commentary.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening in the world?
So unfortunately, we have an update to a story that we did last week. So it says, body found in Fountain Estate, identified as 67-year-old Arthur Henry. The body found Tuesday night, April 5th, in the Fountain Estate Mountain, has been identified as 67-year-old Arthur Henry. Henry, also known as Pa or Sensei, of Soho Village and was residing in Fountain Estate, was reported missing on March 24th. The body was identified by Henry's family members on Friday. An autopsy on Henry's body was carried out on Friday by resident pathologist Dr. Adrian Nunes. The 67-year-old died from a single gunshot wound to the head, causing severe brain injury, according to the pathologist. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. The police have issued an appeal to anyone who may have information regarding the death of Arthur Henry to contact the Violent Crime Unit by dialing 467-1887, 467-1888, 662-3468, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707.
At least we have some closure to this particular, situation. Maybe not justice as yet, and I said as yet because I'm hoping that is the case. It's not necessarily, the outcome that we were hoping for. I'm sure, particularly his friends, family, loved ones. But unfortunately, he. This ain't a transition. This is wicked people doing wickedness.
Literally, that's the only thing it could be.
You understand? 67-year-old. Basically, any property guys up there live.
The man home. As him.
Actually, somebody tell me what's going on. Is there anybody of interest? I know they had put out, it was either a search warrant or a person of interest notice. But they have anybody in custody? Like, they're looking for anybody? Like, can we get some information on that, please? Because, like I tell you, it's one thing that this is a unfortunate situation. It's one thing that you have persons now who are asking for justice, for someone to be held accountable. But at the same time, we don't want people who are running around shooting people on the line in the head, just walking around freely-nilly in society. Get them off the street. Get them off the street, yo.
That's crazy, as if somebody could just come and decide that your life is worth.
If they were ever sentenced, they pay for the bullet.
Yeah, y'all got the better. I don't feel like y'all think people life worth anything for the way y'all behaving.
Like, what could have possibly been the situation, you know what I mean? Anybody who know Arthur, like, anyway. Like I'm saying, the police are asking for any information. I'm hoping that, we get an update saying that there's someone in custody, at least persons where we could confirm that persons have been identified and whether they're in custody are looking. Because this can't go so. The other thing that I've been asking for update on is the Molineux school situation. Is there any persons of interest involved in that?
I haven't heard about that.
Anybody in custody? Anybody questioning any suspects? Anything? Because that's another one I may want to go so. That may want that they go so.
You can't.
May want that one they just go so.
Somebody burnt down a school.
A school, them kind of people there, we want them. Watch you, me know about but me want these people walking around me.
No.
Me want these people just up and down.
Between me. Like, no.
Me know about watch you. There's certain times when people do things that they make decisions that I might not have made. They might make unlawful decisions, illegal decisions. And sometimes it's like, it might not be what I would have done, but I can understand. You understand? But you set several small fires and burned down a school. Anybody involved, lost them.
Yeah, no, you gotta go for the big wall.
Lost them.
Yeah. would
Find
do.
a nice, comfy place over where they're supposed to build the prison and just tie them. The Tuesday ain't even gotta be there. Just put them out there now.
In spirit. The prison gonna be there in spirit.
Yeah, man. Somebody go feed them in the day or something. I don't care.
Hopefully. If you remember.
But yeah.
Yeah, these people gotta go.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T-Bus.
Yes, greetings to the island.
Morning.
Yes. You see, we got to get to the root of this problem here. You see, laws which I cause crime and violence, you know what I mean? Even go about marriage or these things. You see, I as a man, he was farming to young virgin. Here where I just right now, the youth them just cultivate the marijuana up in the riverside, right? I used to go at the riverside to look for my fresh water and wash my roots and stuff. But from the time I saw what developed up the riverside with all of these youth going up the plant road, I decided not to go up there anymore because I don't want them hold me as no suspect or kill me innocently. So what I'm trying to say here now, it seems as though the man Arthur over my virgin, Arthur is one of the first introduced me to farming theory. Arthur know what is happening to Arthur and I think it is a marijuana problem. We need to just free up the herb. They can't get the herb, because the people them hiding to plant weed. That is what creating all of these problems here. You know what I mean? So if the man just think wise, because I don't see no one supposed to stop no marijuana herb from going. You ain't supposed to get no license to go on a herb. You know the purpose of herb. You know the kind of feeling you get from the herb. So these are the young folks when the man planting weed, right? And anybody get in the way. That don't be the problem. Because you got to really to plant this thing. So if these so-called heads of government people think wisely, because the herb that need to use herb, because these people when use herb that cannot eat us, these come start away. Because they got to look at the root of the problem. The root of the problem is when they check the plant the weed, they see in the area that can kill. And that is the problem.
All right, man. All right, thanks for your contribution. I mean, I don't want to discredit your points. But a couple of things. One, I don't think everybody that plant weed have the capacity to do what was done to this man. So I ain't even gonna put it on people who does do that. So whether or not they're involved in certain types of in cultivation of certain crops, whether legal or illegal, to me that ain't got a thing to do with what it is they do. That's me. Right? Two, the issue of what has gone on in the hills and stuff and whatever, a lot of that there right now is a big problem because even outside of the whole issue that the caller brought up, Jade, I brought up the issue a few weeks ago of people trying to feed their family, already dealing with the monkey problem that nobody seemed to get a proper handle on. And then you got people, nefarious people who ain't got no kind of decency, nothing, gonna come in your ground and thief your thing them. Then go down on the side of the road and go sell them here. No. You coming down out the hill, meet a man there selling your pumpkin. Meet a man selling your produce.
Meet people in your goat pen.
And then the problem is, now, it is so hard to police that. Because unless you got some video or whatever, Jade, you
can't decide that's your pumpkin, even if you know that's your pumpkin. How you can prove that to the police?
Jade, and you see, and the other thing too, you know, when we're talking about livestock, some of the livestock farmers ain't got no kind of decency and no respect for people. You got your cow them tie all over the place. You got them running free as can be. Knocking down people, knocking down car, knocking down all kind of thing. Disturbing people in the neighborhood. You ain't gonna tell your cow them next to your house here. You come in a residential area, Jade.
You tell you
you got a vacant lot next to all these houses. I can tell me cow them in there. The cow them balling all night. People can't sleep. And if I go take up the cow and go butcher it, no, they vex. All of a sudden the cow got owner. When the cow them run into your vehicle, they ain't gonna own it.
No.
They ain't gonna own them time.
Between you and God and the insurance.
Say me, but not the man about me, not that cow there. Me know that cow, but let the cow go missing all of a sudden is, oh, blah, 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 blah.
The thief me cow.
The thief me cow.
Half my land.
It seems that there's a lot of issues happening in agriculture that needs to be addressed, like legal issues. Legal issues. Yes, the caller bring up a very strong point, because when we start talking about the legalization, there's a commission that's been commissioned for how many years now?
Commissioning.
That they must be coming since when Unity got in. So that is going on 7 years now. Right? When we can, it can't take 7 years to figure out what we're doing about this. Or what we're gonna do.
It has.
It shouldn't.
No.
You got the monkey them, we can't figure out what to do with the monkey them. They had a whole monkey task force, that is a joke.
The monkey task, I still try to figure out what's going on with the monkey task force.
The monkey task. We call it the monkey. They said they got a monkey task force. This time, the monkey them in town waiting on the crossing for the light to turn red for them to get the walk signal. But they got monkey task force.
The monkey them don't put them to drinking beers. Literally. Literally, the monkey them don't put them to drinking beers.
What's going on in the world, boy? Okay. Wow. Good morning, Carlo. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Yes, I'm sorry to disturb them again. Yes. The monkey is a real serious problem. It's an urgent problem. You need to look into it seriously. Right now, I got one. The other day, I call you and I show you all, but the problem I catch one. You see him, I got one right now. And it's partner looking for him, looking for all the time. So you're a big tree right now looking at, you know what I mean? Yes. I'm trying to say something else again concerning the youth thing. Yeah, I think the youth them right now, they need guidance. They need like this counseling, like elder people, speak to them, talk to them. We need to not only wait, they need to go in the ghetto, you know, as grown, mature people, conscious people, and speak to the youngsters, because what they're doing, right, just make them relax and get paid. It's a good thing, but
yeah, Carlo. Carlo. Yeah, sorry, but it seems as though, I don't know if it's a connection or the phone, but it's very difficult for us to understand what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then.
All right, man, I appreciate your contribution still. But yeah, Jay, there really needs to be a look into the situation. Too much time you're hearing about this person, they had some fight, had some shooting, had some this. Somebody thief, somebody weed, somebody thief, somebody provision.
Somebody thief, somebody goat.
Somebody.
Yesterday.
Okay, just tell me about this. Come in see this video.
So apparently a video was sent out yesterday with 3 people who allegedly were stealing goats out of a pen.
Out a pen, Jane?
A pen.
The people them good enough to put the goat them in the pen, you want to take them out the pen. And they go running up and down all over the place, yeah? I just say you got go running up and down all over the place. But no, that's too much work.
Yeah, they want the easy one them. Yeah, that's only the man caught them on video.
The man catch them on video?
That's how I know. How else I gonna think it's a story somebody tell me? I saw it on video.
Watch here. Let me tell you something, right? One of the things that does really just disturb me to my core is when there's persons who take it upon themselves to reap based on the labor of other people. Thieving is a mystic kind of thing, you know. That's why in some society they just get rid of them. Chop off your hand, get rid of you know. That is like murder, you know? Because a man might walk out, he was upset over such and such and he took a life. He should not have done it, but we understand that was done in anger.
Mm-hmm.
But a man there farming, he got them from the little kid them come up, time to go butcher, and you're gonna be tree.
Bye. Different bye.
Hey. Yeah, stealing is a mystic thing. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island TV.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I want to make a couple of comments. With the monkey problem that we have, continuing problem. I know that I was told in farm years they used to plant trees, fruit trees in the mountain, in the forest. And a lot of, when I grew up, you could have got for a walk through the quarry and you'd have find all kind of fruits. And when I inquired, they said some of them were not because they just grew up like that. They were planted by the cane farmers. And then with all the fruits up there, I never used to know the monks come down where we say lowland. But now because nothing up there, they ain't got nothing up there to eat. So they come down to look for the gravity to where they could find food. So you got your mango tree or whatever in your yard. They're going to stay there. And then they're so destructive. One bite and they shut you. Yeah. But, so you see, and people used to farm even up in parts of the forest. But they used to be there nearly all day. The monkey and fowl in the night. So, with these committees, that's only sham, you know. Like you were saying, that's only a sham. They need a balance. We really need a balance, you know. Okay, they got this PEP program and whatever. I've been saying for years, if they could just do some intermittent clearance, even do one area to prove the point. Like you got a place up in Lambos Mountain where a lot of mangoes used to be there, Mantiport and them kind of things. But they ain't there no more because the trees them die for many reasons. Hurricane, age, etc. But the agriculture department lazy. They could get help from FAO. But they don't want to do nothing. A lot of people working for government, they just drawing their salary. They'll wait till the month end. You hear nothing, you can't see nothing what they're doing. Anyway, have a good day. I'll talk more next time.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Carla. Yeah, I think that when we start talking about, the need for us to be food secure, the need for us to diversify in terms of the crops, the need for us to even do backyard farming and have people do some subsistence farming and stuff like that. We got to look at the real situation which people dealing with. The present situation is rough. It's rough. Maybe we need to go into certain crops that maybe the monkeys might not necessarily, is not a natural food source for them. We need to look into why the monkeys are coming down. Like we start talking about the fact that, they're obviously coming down to look for food, meaning that the food source, is no longer available in the hills. But why is that? Is it just a matter of we encroaching on their land? That could be one reason. Is it a matter that that the population has grown so much that they've overfed on the trees that was there? Is it that because of other natural situations, like the caller just said, that these food sources are less now and are not able to support the population, like soil erosion, hurricanes, them kind of things. So we need to look into exactly what the situation is and come up with a proper response. But we can't just be talking about the need for people to go into agriculture, the need for us to focus more on and being able to locally supply the food needs of the country and them things, and then looking at what the present situation is for the present farmers them. Cause they tell you. They tell you. They're gonna tell you exactly what's going on. Theft, like we say, is a big one. Monkeys, a big one. Access to the markets is a big one. Some of these people, even just the roads, maintenance of the roads that they use to get to and from the grounds, limit the production and things like that. Right? Access to markets. Because let me tell you something, as much as we talk about such and such and such, and we need to this and we need to that, you got a lot of produce that are waste, eh?
Yeah.
Chowe. So maybe maybe even looking at having that information out for the farmers to be like, okay, look, you can't go plant 26 acres of pineapple because this dude over here planting another 15, and you got this dude down Sandy Point who planting another 10. Like you're trying away hundreds of pounds of pineapple. You understand? Because sometimes one of the things that we need to recognize too is like just working hard and working smart. I realize that's one thing I realize a lot of people doing around here.
Working hard, not smart.
Just working hard. But where's the sense of working hard, producing, and then we look now.
You're wasting.
You're just wasting.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, so we get it need to be a real look into what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't plant avocados.
Avocado.
I tell you, avocado. The cartels planting avocado now, yeah, instead of going coke. Yeah. They're making more money from the avocados in my workout.
Imagine that.
This legal?
And I could still make the same amount of money?
Okay.
Less risk?
Okay. The cartel them work out. Aye, cocaine is the supplemental thing. We're just doing that for fun now.
So it's second nature, you know, muscle memory.
Oh boy. But Jade, speaking of what we need to do regionally, what's happening?
So, some good news. Visa-free travel to the USVI for Caribbean nationals approved by House Judiciary Committee.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Wow. The Caribbean people could go to other Caribbean countries visa-free?
Without a visa?
What?
Damn.
What?
On Wednesday, April 6th, the Virgin Island Visa Waiver Act, HR 5460, was approved by the House Judiciary Committee with a vote of 24 for and 14 against the move. Who is the voting people? Y'all some haters. This bill was the bill was sponsored by Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett, who first introduced the bill in September of last year. What does the bill do? It would allow the Department of Homeland Security to consider approving non-immigrant visitor visa waivers for entry into the U.S. Virgin Islands for up to 45 days. The move, according to Plaskett, is primarily for residents of neighboring Caribbean countries. In a press release from the Congresswoman's office, she expressed gratitude to her Republican colleague, Representative Thomas Massey from Kentucky, for his vote favoring the bill. Plaskett further explained that the limited visa waiver program would enable the Virgin Islands to compete economically with other islands and nations in the Caribbean community. I thank my colleagues on the House Judiciary Committee for their hard work during the marathon markup session that took place over the past few days. A nationwide U.S. visa waiver program already exists, allowing nationals of particular countries to travel to the United States without a visa for up to 90 days.
Precisely.
The bill would apply solely to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and because the Virgin Island is outside the U.S. customs zone by law, it would not allow entry into any other part of the United States, said Plaskett.
Yeah, but it's not fully approved yet, of course.
No.
So yeah, there's still, you know, it has to make passage through several other parts of government before it becomes law. But I think this is something that I think will be welcome by a lot of the persons around. It'll open up for business. My thing too is like, yeah, it's going to open up, you know, tourism and stuff for them, but also hopefully it goes away to open up business opportunities for persons in the other Caribbean islands. I know, for instance, we have there's a lot of petitions
My granny down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of petitions in St. Thomas.
And my uncles and
but
cousins.
let's say it. We want things on there.
That's little big tickets.
And I know, for instance, there's people who have like clothing lines and things that I'm sure would love to be able to go down and market their stuff and stuff like that. I think it also, when I was talking to one of the persons involved with the carnival and stuff like that, they said this is always an issue because, you know, in order for you to go down there to work, you need to get work approval, and sometimes it's just difficult. So to compete with some of the other countries, like their carnival products, they are not only just carnival, but even private event promoters. It's hard for them to compete with some of the other islands, and namely St. Kitts, because of the limitations on who could come and who can't come. So you'd have somebody might have a big song who they might have loved to have be able to come and join them for like carnival, but because they don't have a U.S. work permit or, you know, a U.S. visa, then they can't come. For instance, I know there's a lot of people in St. Thomas who would love to see like a Sugar Band, Grandmasters, small in its full, at its full capacity.
They would lose their minds.
Right, and it's difficult because of the work visa situation. So even me, I had people would call and want to, work with certain artists here, and it just was like too expensive for the artist to go through the process of getting the work visa and stuff like that, getting the sponsor and all of that. So it limits a lot of the business opportunities, not just for people in the Caribbean, but for them themselves. Right, so
I think this is a really good move, honestly.
Yeah. I think it does speak to the fact that St. Thomas needs the Virgin Islands need something to spark up down there.
Yeah, man.
They need a spark. St. Croix in particular. I think St. Croix could do with some loving from the rest of the Caribbean.
Come.
They want us to come.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Caribbean countries, there were 7 CARICOM states that abstained from the UN vote on Russia. Yes.
I wonder why.
I wonder why as well. The UN General Assembly adopted a resolution on Thursday calling for Russia to be suspended from the Human Rights Council. 58 members abstained from the process, including Barbados, Belize, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. The meeting marked the resumption of a special emergency session on the war in Ukraine and followed reports of violations committed by Russian forces. Belize explained that it took the decision to abstain following the obligatory consultations among CARICOM members states on April 4th and 7th, which did not yield a consensus regional position. Belize notes that the HRC has established a commission of inquiry mandated to investigate all alleged violations and abuses of human rights and violations of international humanitarian law and related crimes in the context of the aggression against Ukraine by the Russian Federation. Additionally, the International Criminal Court prosecutor is currently investigating the situation in Ukraine, including any alleged war crimes and any alleged crimes against humanity in all parts of the Ukraine. Considering that these investigations are still ongoing, Belize is of the view that a determination to suspend Russia from the HRC would best be considered after the receipt of any definitive and actionable findings resulting from the investigation.
Seems to me like everybody got the reasons, and I don't think they just come out and say exactly what the reasons be. A lot of these people, they have some type of relationship with Russia, whether it's through the CBI programs, whether it is through economic help, whether it is through economic trade, and that's really why they come down to it. Because
so I think it was for us.
For St. Kitts? I don't know. Maybe it's part because of the CBI program. That might have But the idea that you're waiting for the results of the investigation, my thing is, okay, you could say that, but then I hope when the investigation come back, then
ain't something else you come out with.
Yeah, that's because for my thing is, so for instance, there's one place in Ukraine, the Russians was occupying the area. They leave, they find 300 people buried in shallow graves, right? In mass graves. Okay, who you think do it?
It wasn't the dead people. They didn't just die and bury themselves.
That they sound like civilians. That they sound war crimish to me.
You think that as I'm for the
so may know what you expect to do, but you say you're waiting on the results.
To see if any you ain't on a TV. You ain't on a. What do you mean? You waiting to see? To see what?
They said they waited to see.
To read what we've been seeing on paper. With a signature?
Maybe they didn't say it was COVID, me,
Okay, well, All right, go ahead. Because I don't understand. You want to wait until the investigation is complete.
I have another point to this whole thing, though. Them I really feel like Russia care about any of these things?
No, I've been telling you.
Well, let me not say Russia. Let's say Putin. You think Putin care about these things?
This man care about this.
Oh yeah, take me off the Human Rights Council. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, hitting me with sanctions. Okay. I still doing what I want. I still going in the people country and taking it. Like this has not stopped anything.
Yeah. And like I see you making the point about the fact that we have seen similar atrocities perpetrated by Western powers. Yeah. And they needed to get like, you know, everybody calling for like Putin to be called like a war criminal and to be tried. My thing, who going to take out Putin? Like what happens? Like let's like what happened? Like how this?
They can't even find Putin. They never know.
To be honest, I don't even think Putin gonna hide. Putin probably go to all the G8 meetings still, and all them kind of things. Putin just be like, hey, if anybody touch me, we just nuking everybody here.
Well, he tell us early on. He said.
He ain't gonna say that. He ain't gonna go to the nukes. He just be like, yo, we ain't just stop selling our gas here.
So that this will have gas prices, okay, out of whack, among other things.
That's not there. Putin. The thing for people is that, I tell you people, if it's one thing we know, Putin ain't a dummy.
Nope.
Everything that they're doing now, all the steps that they're taking, if y'all think Putin didn't plan for this, then y'all ain't understand who this man is. Man don't plan for this.
The man been about it, okay? The man been about it.
Mm-hmm.
He don't just talk about it, he does be about it for true.
I think he pushed. I think he's going to retreat back to the places that he feels are strategic. People think he wanted Kiev and the capital. I don't think so. I think he wanted Chernobyl. I think he wanted access to the Black Sea. I think they're already there. They can pull back to them places and hold out.
Mm-hmm.
Like who knows? I am not.
How long this war going on now? Since January?
Like 2 months.
No, since February. Yeah, 2 months.
But I mean, it's at the end of the day for me, it's unfortunate.
Somebody said I need to flip up the long table and question.
But yeah, the unfortunate thing for me is that while the superpowers running around, having the meetings, having the discussions, having the resolutions and the votes, like, but people just dying.
Regularly, like it's another
People
day.
just dying. You're destroying cities, you're destroying culture, you're destroying art, you're destroying all these things getting destroyed. Well, people, and then at some point, all of a sudden, they're gonna come to some understanding.
Yeah.
When all the people done dead, when people house done mash up, when all the art, culture, architecture, all these things done gone, it's like, oh, we come to some understanding now.
A little too late, buddy. A little too late, mainly.
And then the problem I keep having is who allowed to do these things?
Not us.
Who does be allowed to do these things?
Not us for sure.
If I make a decision, actually, we had a caller calling this morning talking about the fact that somebody tried to overtake them while a car was coming on while cars were coming in the incoming direction, right? And if the worst were to happen and there was an accident and people's lost life, because of that decision, that person should be held accountable.
Would be too.
But the thing is now, you got these people making all these decisions, sending all kind of young men, young women to the death, killing all kind of people, destroying billions of dollars in thing, and then it's just like, all right, guys, well, we figured it out. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna be able to hold on to that. Bam, 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 bam,
You
bam.
will keep this. I gonna keep this, and we're gonna all just go about over there.
Yeah, and then they build memorials like the one we got on the Bay Road. Yeah, that's what they do, Jade. We build memorials afterwards, and say thank, and tell you thanks. They tell you, watch it. They tell you thanks afterwards, yeah. Thanks for your
Contributions. Thanks to your contribution.
And thanks for your sacrifice.
Yes, did I call it a sacrifice? Like, sir, no. I wasn't giving my life for you. Y'all took it. That's not a sacrifice.
Who is allowed to lie? Who is allowed to cause death?
Not us.
You watching Inventing Anna yet?
Yes. I've been watching Inventing Anna. I'm quite annoyed, but I've been watching Inventing Anna.
I tell people, yeah, me vex with Anna, you know. Me vex with
You
Anna.
vex with the
at
people
all.
I'm around Anna who are lower too.
No, me vex with none of them. Anna do what she had to do based on what she had and what she wanted to achieve. The problem I have, I know, I remember I was following the Anna story when he came out, you know. No, the thing for me was, I couldn't believe how much time this woman get. When them big Wall Street executives and Ponzi scheme people who just they're messing up the whole world economy. Them there, some of them ain't getting no jail time at all.
2 months, a week.
Some of them just say pay back 2 million, pay back 3 million,
That's
pay back
27 million in a but they got pay back too.
Jay, the bonus for 1 year is 10 million.
Okay.
The bonus. People been losing their retirement money. People been
life
losing savings, insurance, all these things been going on. And but because Anna allowed people to believe that she was a fake German
You know
heiress.
what happened? Anna swindle the rich people.
That's all.
When you swindle rich people, that does punish you harder
punish
than
you.
if you swindle poor people.
That's all. And they ain't even swindling, you know. Because she ain't get the money.
Oh,
They embarrassed.
She embarrassed the rich people.
them.
She potentially could have swindled them. They just feel bad because
She embarrassment make them look smart because you aren't one of us. You ain't went to no Ivy League college. You ain't had no millions of dollars. How is it that you could come into our circle and fool us?
we the one who does be out here fooling people. How dare you flip the switch on us?
Watch it. When you go against the status quo, you get
And I don't
punished.
punish you, man.
You get punished. The
Yeah.
problem is that the status quo as it stands now, we see who does get it worse. We see who does get it worse. It's the same people all the time, you Jade.
All at the time.
Same people as get it worse.
All the time.
But
So you go, buddy. So you go.
yeah.
You want to talk about Pakistan?
Playboy Imran Khan, aka reformed Muslim. The reformed Playboy now turned Muslim.
What wrong with you?
Now turned ousted Prime Minister. Imran Khan.
The man on vacation permanently.
Come to St. Kitts, man.
No, it's okay.
You might fit right in.
Oh.
What with Imran Khan?
Well, so Imran Khan ousted as Pakistan's PM after vote.
At least he keeping up the tradition. Jay,
That's what I really said. That's what I really said.
Jay, he not different to none of them. There hasn't been one Pakistan president that make it your full term here.
Pakistan don't play with the people. You're messing up the game with you early. They like Caribbean people, you know?
Gabon is a problem, eh?
Yeah, long time. Caribbean people just hold on to these politicians knowing that they're terrible for you. They're terrible for the country, they're terrible for the economy, you're
Yes,
hungry,
that's
starving. Caribbean people have a toxic relationship with politicians. For real, as them toxic. Listen.
I know he ain't no good, but I love him.
But I love him.
Not love with every, you know. I love him.
To the heart and soul, they would give him everything.
I tell you, that time a woman, I hate many a woman. Well, I hear a guy say that if I saw a politician spit him out, he'll gladly swallow. That's when I know.
So sorry?
That's what he said. That's what he said. You want me to tell you what it be?
No.
See, it makes sense now, right? It makes sense now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you so. You know some of these people. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I say gladly swallow, yeah.
Gladly, not forcefully, not gladly, willingly. He ready to what? Okay.
Some of them feeling people can't do no wrong. Because it ain't about right or wrong and who better for whoever.
Oh,
it
that's
is.
wild.
This is my team, and I'm riding for my team.
Okay, so sync with your ship. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has been ousted from power after losing a no-confidence vote in his leadership. The vote was held past midnight after opposition parties brought a motion against him, following days of drama. The motion was first brought last week, but the former cricket star blocked it by dissolving parliament. Sunday's vote took place after the country's Supreme Court ruled in favor of the opposition parties and said that Mr. Khan had acted unconstitutionally. It's a big word. In Elmo voice. Opposition leader Shehbaz Sharif, who is expected to be chosen as the new Prime Minister on Monday, today, said Pakistan and its parliament were finally freed from a serious crisis. Adding a tweet, congratulations to the Pakistani nation on a new dawn. Dawn them must come fast.
Oh, yeah.
It voted in...
The day's got 12 hours.
Why? It voted in by Parliament, Mr. Sharif, a long-time rival of Mr. Khan, and the brother of former three-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, would be able to hold power until October 2023, when the next election is due to be held.
Mm-hmm.
The vote makes Mr. Khan the first Pakistani Prime Minister to be ousted by a no-confidence motion, when opposition parties securing 174 votes in the 342-member House in support of the no-confidence motion. His supporters are expected to take the streets yesterday. Mr. Khan has previously said he would not recognize the opposition government, claiming without evidence that there was a U.S.-led conspiracy to remove him because of his refusal to stand with Washington on issues against Russia and China.
Is the military boss?
Yeah,
in the US. Is the military?
Yeah.
The military is who run things in Pakistan.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta blame somebody, yeah, but still.
No, but you see, the US is a nice big bully, a nice big bad guy that people could rally around. So it's easier to say.
That was conspiring against me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it worked, sir. It worked.
Oh, boy.
International conspiracy. Mr. Khan has previously said that he would not... Oh, I just read this, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the thing is... the
USA ain't, right? So, you know.
My thing is, like, bro, like, what you mean you ain't recognize them?
I'd say you made he get his work out. The man said, no, me ain't going. No, y'all could do what y'all want, but I am staying. So that's not how it works. How you feel like you're entitled to a country, so you could just stay and rule it because you want to. Why? He Caribbean. He Caribbean.
Yeah.
That's one Caribbean politician.
Do you believe that there's a growing trend? I won't say it might be the norm, but maybe let's say a growing trend of persons electing people into office who really, their background ain't really political.
Sorry, say it again?
Do you feel like there's a growing trend of persons electing persons into positions of power who really don't have a political background?
You don't feel like sometimes that's the best thing?
A public service? Imran Khan was a
cricketer.
Like, he was like the cricketer of the Pakistan team. Like, you had Trump, who was like a reality star and reality TV star and whatever else he was. Businessman.
Mm-hmm. I think that only happens outside of here.
Outside of here?
Yeah. Which politician we have that wasn't... Well, all of them said that wasn't planning to be in politics, but here they are. Here they are, boy.
Yeah. But I think there's one thing to say if you've been active with a party, you've been around, you could tell people who are involved in politics. Mm-hmm. You could tell people involved even if they're not running, right? You could tell people who might be involved in policy for whatever reason, in whatever discipline, right? Who might transition into politics. But yeah, a lot of times we see people who aren't necessarily, who you can't really trace their, they haven't been involved in any community activism. They haven't been involved in any, at least until it was time for them to start putting their bid.
Making the rounds?
Yeah. So I think we see that there too. And I don't think there's anything wrong to say, well, a doctor can't be a politician or a lawyer can't be a politician. But a lot of times, sometimes you have to ask yourself, well, your training prepare you for this particular field?
And I think you should be. I'm not going to lie. I think like if you're deciding to run the country, there's certain training that you should have because you're running a country. Like you are responsible for the policies of thousands of people.
RCE saying, as if everything is political, so who cares the aspirant's background? Everything is political,
You
but not
should
everything is politics.
Yeah, I feel like you should. I don't know. Is it me or you should care? No, you should care. Again, like we're in dollies, you know. We're actual human beings. We're actual people. So, like, if you're gonna decide to take it upon yourself to decide what's best for us, I feel like you should have some type of training to figure out like what's best for these people, this country that I'm running, these policies that I'm implementing. How will they impact the lives of these people?
And I think again, and again, I'm not saying that somebody who comes out of a specific discipline is less more prepared or whatever for the position. What I'm saying is, when persons have a history of doing what it is they're going to be asked to put in the position to do, I think that helps. But I think we have a situation now where across the world we're seeing persons who are entering politics, and what it is they're using as the cachet or the marketing tool is basically popularity, whether it comes from entertainment or whatever. Now, people argue and say that, well, really, at the end of the day, elections are popularity contests. So it makes sense from that perspective. But I don't think that just because you're popular, it prepares you to do a specific job.
It cannot. That makes zero sense because everybody know me that mean I could do it. So how does that? Okay, as I'm go up in a hospital, go tell them everybody know you, so you is now the head surgeon.
That is where I was going. Where I was going with it is, this is only allowable in this particular field. Like that's the thing that makes it interesting for me. This is only actually allowed in politics. Like in other words,
crazy that's
like you can't be the best doctor ever, and then go into court and be like, yo, but I'm the best doctor ever. Like everybody know me.
Yeah.
So I can just be defending this person here.
How does that work?
You can't go and say like I'm the best footballer ever, and so I go in and like just build this road. But for some reason, when it comes to politics, like there's not necessarily the same prerequisites necessary. What needs to happen is like people just have to kind of be convinced that you is who we want. And how they come to that conclusion ain't really necessarily having to do with what you're expected to do once you get the job. It's interesting. No, it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's interesting. Because if let's say you're involved in community activism and stuff like that, I could see somebody saying, well, yeah, they might not be familiar with, let's say, parliamentary proceedings and the fact that you have to say, Mr. Speaker, you couldn't talk to the Speaker, you can't speak directly to. Like, they might not know parliamentary proceedings, but at least there's somebody who has proven that they are aware of what the issues are within the community that they're expected to think. So, yeah, we could see that, but yeah.
And I wonder where.
Let me ask you a question. If you had to put out a resume for Prime Minister, what would it look like? If you had to put out a resume, like not a resume, but like a job description and requirements, what do they call them, man, when they're putting out the thing? A
job ad.
Yeah, when they're putting out the
ads and
imagine. Okay, let me put it this way: if the country, instead of going, the parties them nominate people and whatever, and people just vote based on those options. What if the country was supposed to go, hey, this is the job of Prime Minister, this is the job of Minister of whatever? Like,
and
what
these
would
are
that?
The qualifications you have to have.
Do you think that anybody who has gotten in those positions would be eligible?
I can't answer that.
No, it might be. There might be.
Somebody in there got to be somebody in there have to be qualified.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have we ever had a politician who has a political science degree?
I don't know their backgrounds. But I don't know the backgrounds. I can't answer that.
Do we have, like, somebody answer the question for me. Have we ever had an elected, a parliamentary representative who's had a political science degree?
I don't.
And if so, who? And if not, do we think that maybe the answer shouldn't be no?
Anyway, what time it is? 10:01. So guys, that has been the show for today.
Maybe, like, why is it I need a degree to go to all the jobs, but then these jobs here that supposed to be the most important jobs?
You need none.
Me need none.
You need
in a particular field. No, you don't need none, you know. You don't need none. Like, you literally don't need none. I don't have to go to college to be a parliamentary representative.
You need to be, you need to at least have doctor in front of your name to be PM. Wow.
Yeah, Sean working on his doctorate right now.
Wow. Listen, in this country has something else, you know? In this country is something else, boy. We need a top class hospital. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will disagree with that.
No.
You never think you can come? When we get a private one. But guys...
He's shaking the table.
No, just seriously.
No, you sure?
Yeah, seriously. When we get a private hospital, that's when we're going to get there. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let me, you know...
But guys, we're going to have to leave. We're going to have to go. We're going to have to disembark. It is after 10.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, April 11th, the start of a new week. Guys, wishing you guys the best today.
And tomorrow.
And for the rest of the week.
Indeed.
Hopefully it's a productive day, productive week. Hopefully you get to join us for the rest of the week. Remember, this is a holy week, guys. So behave yourself now. It's a holy week.
Holy week.
It's a holy week. Hopefully you got all of the battery out of your system on the weekend. Jade? Hopefully you got all of the battery
Jade?
out of...
Who Jade?
The other one.
Oh, because I didn't mean me.
The other one.
Me who is so quiet and home in my house all weekend just chilling and reading the Bible. Jade?
The other one I meant.
Remember this week is also a part 2 of our ongoing series.
Yeah, do you ready for it?
What the series called again? Dissolve.
Dissolve or resolve.
Yes.
So stay tuned, guys.
Thursday we will have a new episode coming out. Just in time for the weekend.
Not a thing. Anyway. Did I forget Thursday's Holy Thursday? Timo going to church?
Yeah, he got meetings.
Timo actually went to church by my grandfather yesterday.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that big crowd was?
Where he was over there? He was in country yesterday? Sorry, Jade. He was home reading your Bible. I forgot.
I don't know what should we go
I forgot. He must have seen it on the socials.
I did actually.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, and let me tell you something. That people is people just think Timo does like church. Timo does work, you know, as a politician. Timo does work. I gotta tell you, this church thing, I ain't saying he ain't like church. But I think he understands.
Catch people,
but I tell you, if y'all think that ain't part of him doing his job, like, y'all very wrong. Let me ask a quick question. Don't have to answer it.
I probably wasn't going to.
We could leave it for tomorrow. Who is the hardest working politician? Don't answer that.
I got to think about it. Who is the hardest working one?
The hardest working politician. When we're talking about like campaigning, doing what you got to do as a politician to make sure people vote for you.
We're going to answer that tomorrow. So guys.
Guys, we're going to leave. We're going to go. We're going to disembark. Thank you so much for joining us today. Whether you joined us on Facebook, YouTube, or on Win Media SKN's website, tune in on your mobile phones, your iPads, etc. Or you listen to us on the radio at 98.9 FM. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a part of what we do here. All the callers, all the commenters. Thanks to Sergeant Henry for joining us this morning with Traffic Talk. Of course, that's every Monday between 8:30 and 9. Today was no different. But guys, please remember, spend more time living your content than posting it. And you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you guys tomorrow.